Hi, this is The Greatest Story Ever Played. I'm Dan.
I'm Jordan.
And today we're going to be talking about Life is Strange Before the Storm, Episode 1, Awake. Before we get into the episode itself, just some background on this game. So this was developed by Deck 9, who are different than Don't Nod, who made Life is Strange the original. Square Enix, who's the, I think, publisher above, who kind of owns the rights to the game, subcontracted it out, basically, to Deck 9, who made this game, which is a prequel to Life is Strange. So, kind of different. I don't know that I've seen this happen before, where games get shipped out to other companies exactly. But I'm glad they did, because this game's fun. Deck 9 is the first game that they've ever made. They were previously called Idle Minds as a video game company, but they rebranded to focus on narrative-driven games. Cool, right up my alley.
Yep.
Before the Storm is a great start. Also, I don't know if every single voice is new, but a lot of the characters' voices are actually new voice actors.
Interesting. I wonder why they did that.
In the case of, for Chloe, it's Rihanna DeVries and instead of Ashley Birch. And it was because Ashley Birch is a part of the voice actors guild or something that had some sort of strike.
Makes sense.
That's why she didn't come back at least, but from what I could tell, it seemed like almost all the voices changed. And they got different people, so that's kind of interesting. Ashley Birch, though, who played Chloe in the original game, she was a consultant on this game, so I think she probably gave him some of her thoughts on Chloe and how she viewed the character and stuff. So that's kind of cool that they still reached out, even though they couldn't have her be Chloe again.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. And then lastly, it seemed like the best way for us to be able to talk about this is it will be spoiler-filled for Before the Storm on the episode that we're currently on, and I guess anyone's back to it. But also spoiler-filled for Life is Strange, the original game. Just seeing that there's a lot of things that, in this game we'd want to probably point back or compare to the original game.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we'd be able to talk about Before the Storm as well without being able to reference Life is Strange at points. So there will be spoilers related to Life is Strange too. I don't know. Maybe if it's really big, we'll try to give a warning again. But just know that they will come. Yeah.
Sounds good to me. So yeah, the description is Life is Strange Before the Storm features Chloe Price, a 16-year-old rebel who forms an unlikely friendship with Rachel Amber, a beautiful and popular girl destined for success. When Rachel's world is turned upside down by a family secret, it takes their newfound alliance to give each other the strength to overcome their demons.
All right. And so like the first game, there's actually a lot of, I guess, set pieces, or I don't know, not set pieces, gameplay things that are similar. So you have, they each have phones with texting, they have journals, they have the character sheet where it seems a part of the journal, but, the thought on this character or that character, and kind of a, summary.
Some background.
Great. So we got some on Max from Chloe that I thought was worth reading. So it says, Max Caulfield, MIA, ex-best friend extraordinaire. This artsy motherfucker loves photography more than life itself and definitely more than me. She even uses old instant cameras. It's probably not healthy for anyone to be that stuck in the past. But who am I to tell people how to live their lives? When we were kids, we would dress up like pirates and eat ice cream and write and draw these stupid comic books where we had powers and saved people and shit. Then my dad died. And then her dad got some job up north and moved away to Seattle. It was probably the moment when I needed her most, and she bailed. Thanks, Max, for teaching me that I can't rely on anyone. I mean it. Life lesson learned. The worst part is that even though we haven't spoken in months, even though she habitually ignored my texts so much that I just stopped trying, even though I know deep down that she doesn't care about me anymore, that she probably has all these new friends up in fucking Seattle, I still miss her. If she came back tomorrow and said, hey, Chloe, want to dress up like pirates and be stupid together? I would take her back in a heartbeat.
Oh man, this sucked.
It's so sad meeting Chloe at this point, coming back, in playing the other game we've built this friendship and reconnected after this time apart, and that was hard, and you even felt for Chloe being ghosted by Max. But this is a lot worse. You come back and you're with Chloe in the middle of it.
Yeah, and just because 2 years late, 2 years goes by between this game and the original game. And Chloe's kind of hardened herself and doesn't care as much,
right?
But is clearly still affected by how Max ignored her,
right?
Yeah, this is way worse because Chloe's like just so fucked up and so sad. And like there's a couple points in the game too where she's like, at least in the first chapter, where she's like, I have no friends. Like, this sucks. I have no friends. You're like, oh my god, this is so like, Max, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's so hard.
Yeah, it's rough. The game opens up though in probably the most like perfect fashion, or Chloe Price fashion. She dodges a train on the way to a concert in a barn to see like this band she really likes.
Yeah.
And she manages to finagle her way in.
So yeah, this is the first real choice in the game. And so these like two guys kind of corner you up on this like, I don't know, like overlooking this barn over the concert. And they're like threatening you. It seems like they're probably going to try to beat you up. And you know, you're like a 16-year-old girl and they're just like 30-year-old dudes or something. So
right.
Clearly they're going to lose that fight every time. You have the choice to either run or attack when Rachel Amber shows up and kind of distracts them.
Right, because she throws a bottle at one of them.
Yeah, like hits him in the head or like throws it near him and they hear it. No, it hits the guy in the head and gets kind of pissed. So then they're like not looking at us. We can choose to fight them or attack them while they're distracted or run away from them.
Right.
And I actually chose to run because I was like, I don't know. I guess looking back would have made more sense to fight because that's Chloe. But I was like, yeah, let's run. So we were in the minority this time. So 35% of people ran and 65% of people attacked. And it looks like you initially attacked on your first playthrough. So what was your thought process?
Yeah, I attacked. I think just thinking that's what Chloe would do. Also, it's like Chloe's a fighter, so I kind of saw her doing that. But also, since Rachel Amber like gave us the hookup, like if we both got to fight these guys, then like that's how it's gonna go down, kind of thing. So that was kind of my thought.
Yeah.
In fighting.
Yeah, I guess my thought was, okay, let's say we attack this guy or punch him or do whatever we would. Probably wouldn't be enough to really knock him out of a fight. And then we both got to fight them. So then we kind of drag Rachel in more.
Right.
So maybe she gets beat up too, whereas it seems like if we could just run while they're distracted, maybe we could both just run.
Yeah.
Like, problem solved. Mm-hmm. But, I don't know.
What ends up happening if you do fight them is you end up getting a black eye.
Oh, cool.
From it. You still end up running and like having fun at the concert with Rachel after that. But I think one of them maybe punches you in the eye before you escape.
That makes sense.
Or something like that. So you have a black eye, which is great for the next morning when you wake up after this.
Yeah.
You have a black eye and you're hungover and
you just look like shit.
Yeah, and the game just starts and
yeah.
And Chloe's like,
So maybe we should have fought.
So it was fun.
Fits more, Chloe.
Yeah. We've got a couple people who had thoughts on this. Evan on Twitter said, obviously fight.
Okay, yeah. Chris on Twitter said, I fought the thugs my first playthrough and ran away the second time.
Wolf on Twitter says, fight, as I didn't see Chloe as much of a runner.
Yeah, I agree. She probably wouldn't have ran in real life. I think I made the wrong choice. Whatever. Couldn't go back in time. I don't have time travel powers, so...
Yeah.
Stuck there. Chris on Twitter says, fight, Chloe ain't no bitch. It's like, you're right.
Yeah, Chloe fighting makes sense. Definitely see that. I could see her running away, though. Like, I don't know. It made sense. Either way, you team up with Rachel Amber and have fun. Mm-hmm. That's nice. The next morning, you wake up after the concert, and this is cool. You're kind of reminiscing, like, I had the best day ever. Mm-hmm. It was nice seeing something good happen for Chloe, just knowing that it's been shitty probably the 3 years before this.
Yeah.
And it seems like probably it gets better the next 2 years, but then even when you meet her in Life is Strange, the main game, her life is not as good because Rachel's gone and stuff like that. So, like, yeah, I don't know. It was nice to have that moment. Joyce calls you down for breakfast, and you go down and you can talk to her. And when talking to her, you're given the option to either be mean to her or be nice.
Yeah.
And in our playthrough, you chose to be nice to her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it just made sense to me in the moment because she was like talking about how hard things have been since her husband, our dad, died.
Yeah.
It was like, it's being pretty reasonable. She was like, she wasn't like coming down hard. Like, everything she was saying made sense.
Right.
Like, I need some more support. Maybe you shouldn't be doing drugs and being out late. Like, it's like, okay, yeah, I agree.
Fair.
Yeah, fair. I want to be there more for you. So, like, how could you be mean?
Yeah.
If she was being a total bitch or something, like, maybe you'd stand your ground, but she was super reasonable.
Yeah.
So I just felt like I physically could not be mean to her in that moment.
Yeah. And a lot of people were in that same boat. 65% of people did that. Only 35% were mean to her. When I played the first time, I was mean to her.
You dick.
And I did it because I thought that's what Chloe would do. Didn't do it because that's what I thought I should do, but I thought that's how Chloe would act. But it hurt me to do it because I like Joyce in Life is Strange, the main game. And so having to be mean to her and kind of knowing everything she's been through.
Yeah, it's like, that sucks.
Yeah, I didn't like doing it, but I was like, it feels like that's what Chloe would do.
Yeah.
So I did it. I felt bad about it, though, when I played.
Yeah.
I like being nice to her much more this time. Got a little feedback on this. Evan on Twitter says, I was friendly with Joyce. She's gone through a lot. I have sympathy for her. I agree.
Yeah, me too, completely.
She, of all people to deserve, like, any bad things to happen to him, Joyce is probably one of the least. Like, her life has been very fucking hard.
Yeah, for sure. We got Chris on Twitter says, I'm always friendly with Joyce. David, on the other hand. Yeah, I agree. I mean, well, I guess, yeah. After this, we go on a car ride to school with David. And some of the stuff he was saying made sense. It's kind of cool, but he was a fucking dick.
Yeah.
Like, when we first go outside, he, like, snaps at us and, like, points to the ground in front of him. Like, basically, he's like, come over here.
Yeah.
It's like, bitch, what? Like, I'm not a dog. You're also not my fucking dad. Like,
yeah, he's a douche.
yeah, so I would agree with Chris. I try to be friendly to Joyce, and David sucks.
Yeah.
Granted, I know, in the first game, original game, he ends up saving Max, but right now it's like, us being mean to him now won't change that at all. We'll still do it, so fuck him.
Yeah, he's definitely a douche. It was like you said, there were a couple parts when we talked to him in the car where he seemed all right, but then he'd follow it up with something totally dumb and idiotic, and you're just like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
You're the worst. Like, you're impossible to like.
Yep, impossible, completely.
Yeah. After we get dropped off at school, we roam around a while, get to play some D&D. That was
pretty fun, yeah.
That was fun. Enjoyed that.
Good dialogue there.
Yeah. A lot of fun stuff. Get to kind of meet students when we're getting ready to go into the school. We see Nathan Prescott getting bullied by a new character named Drew, who's a football player. He's got a Letterman jacket and stuff like that. And he takes Nathan's art book and is bullying him and is going to throw it in the pond.
Yeah, so Drew's probably like a senior.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, and Nathan's...
Maybe like our grade or
sophomore.
Maybe sophomore and freshman.
Yeah, probably sophomore. Probably freshman or sophomore. Yeah. Anyway, so we have like the option to stand up to Drew and like tell him to stop bullying Nathan or just kind of ignore it.
Yeah.
But so we chose to stay out of the fight. And I guess my rationale was like, yeah, it sucks. Nathan's getting bullied, but dude's he sucks. Nathan sucks. He's the notebook that he's like getting bullied about is like full of weird pictures and drawings of the things he does later in the first game. It's like, I mean, that's not the same stuff, obviously.
Right.
But it's like some demented shit, I'm assuming, because Drew mentions that.
Right.
And he's getting bullied for like getting his spot on the team bought by his dad, which no one should get bullied for that, but it's like, I hate Nathan. I don't really care. I'll ignore it. So we stayed out of the fight. We were in the 15%, vast minority, and then 85% defended Nathan, which looks like you did your first time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. The first time I did it, and I just felt like Chloe would probably try to stop things like that. Like, Chloe seems like the person who would bully bullies.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I kind of was thinking.
You're probably right.
Like, it doesn't seem like Chloe would like friends or bully people, but she would bully bullies. Like, she seems like that kind of like that weird rogue person at your school who does that. But I was totally fine staying out of it when you did it that time. And I think it's because I hate Nathan Prescott so much more.
Yeah.
Like the first time I played, I didn't like him and I thought it was bad. But since I've played, I've thought a lot about this game, played it again, all those things, and I'm like, you're a monster.
He sucks. Yeah, completely.
He's terrible. And so for me, when you wanted to stay out of the fight, you brought that up. I was like, yeah, fuck him. Like, and I didn't know what happened, and he gets his notebook thrown into the pond. So fuck you, Nathan.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think before this too, we did kind of try to get him to stop, Drew to stop. I think we did say something to Drew, like, hey, like, give it back to him, and he was like, no. It's like, I feel like we tried at least. So I don't. At that point, it's like,
Right.
I don't care.
Yeah. So
Tried a little bit, did enough.
Yeah. Chris on Twitter says, I gave Drew the patent Chloe verbal beatdown.
Yeah.
Nathan might be a jerk, but Chloe doesn't put up with bullies.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think, Chloe doesn't put up with bullies. I think it's spot on. Yeah. Oh, God, I hate Nathan so much.
Yeah, he sucks. I don't care if he gets bullied.
Yeah, I guess we didn't see the drawings. I don't know. I guess Nathan would probably do what he'd do anyway, but maybe if he wasn't bullied, maybe he'd be more well-adjusted.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah. He's awful. But,
fuck him.
Yeah. Next up, after this, we end up going to school. We talk to Rachel Amber about the play for The Tempest that's coming up, and Rachel has a key role in it. And we talk to the teacher and some other people for a minute, and then Rachel's changing, and we have to get her something. And then she asks us to go on an adventure with her and skip class.
Yeah. And Chloe's all about it, 'cause she's like, I don't need a reason to skip class.
Right.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, so they skip class, they jump on a train, they go out of town to this nice park, and they have a lot of fun. This is really nice, because we know that Chloe cared about Rachel in the last game, but we never met her. Mm-hmm. And this was kind of nice for a while, talking two truths and a lie on the train. Mm-hmm. You get to the park, you play that game where you make up stories through the binoculars at the people funny. You're eavesdropping on.
Yeah, it was funny.
That was funny, and you can tell they totally riff together really well. Uh-huh. And it seems like a good friendship or whatever. It seems good. Mm-hmm. Then we see a guy kissing some lady, and we try to make fun of it, and Rachel gets really mad.
Yeah.
And then we leave. We steal some wine.
That was funny too.
That was funny. We steal some wine and we run off. Then we're walking down the train tracks, drinking, doing that. And then we arrive at the junkyard from the first game. Mm-hmm. Rachel's still upset after what we've seen, seemingly.
Yeah.
And she's mad. She tells us to leave us alone. And we try to engage with her. It seems like she's angry. Maybe we'll help her let it out.
Yeah.
So then we try to give her a baseball bat. Let's fuck shit up. We're at a junkyard.
Yeah.
And Rachel throws the bat away.
And is pissed. Yeah.
She's really mad. She's like, I told you to leave me alone, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Rachel's getting ready to leave, and there's a pretty significant dialogue that I thought we should read through. So I guess I'll be Chloe.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. Rachel, wait, don't go.
Why not?
Because I don't want to ruin this the way I ruin everything else in my life.
And what is this exactly?
A real friendship.
I thought Chloe Price doesn't need friends.
I thought so too. Before today, I guess. It's easier to be alone if you decide it's a choice. I'm sorry for whatever I did or didn't do. Today was the best day I've had since my dad died. And I screwed it up somehow like I screw up everything because I'm a fucking screw up.
Chloe.
Please, I don't want to be alone anymore.
I'm sorry, Chloe. I can't say why. I know this isn't fair, but I can't be your friend right now.
Can't or don't want to.
Doesn't matter. I'm really sorry. Goodbye, Chloe.
And so at this point in this conversation, we're given the opportunity to say what we think of Rachel. Mm-hmm. Which is, you can tell Rachel that you're just friends, or you can tell that you want to be more than friends with Rachel. Ours obviously shows that we chose friends.
Yeah.
We chose friends, and we're actually in a pretty big minority. Only 27% of people did that, versus 73% who told Rachel that they were more than friends. Mm-hmm. I don't know about for you, but for me, the way I kind of thought about this, because this is what I did in my original playthrough too, was that, so Chloe, obviously, we know from the other game, really cares about Rachel, that had a good relationship, maybe dated, but is sort of unclear.
Yeah.
But this was the first day we really met her. We met her the night before at the concert. And so for me, I was kind of like, well, I don't want to rush that, basically. It seems like it will get there, but this seems like it's jumping the gun. So
yeah,
that was kind of my thought. I don't know if you...
Yeah, no, my thought was, we know from the first game that she's into Frank. Or Rachel's into Frank, and they at least sleep together. They're kind of dating, whatever. And Frank really cares about her. So to me, it's I don't know if Rachel would be into Chloe, because we know for a fact she's into Frank. So to me, it wouldn't have added up.
Yeah, well, that's what's interesting, because there's also that note that we find at the junkyard that was from Rachel that was, like, crumpled up. That was like, I'm seeing this guy, but I didn't want to tell you because you get mad. I don't know if you remember that. It was in one of the
I do remember that, yeah.
So she knows that Chloe cares about her, whether it was that they were dating or not, but, like, that it would impact her. So it's...
Yeah, but it's just weird, because... Was she cheating on her then? Would she be cheating on Chloe then in the first game?
Yeah,
I don't know. To me, that didn't fully add up.
Right, yeah, I'm not sure. Because it also could be one of those things where Chloe always had feelings for Rachel, but Rachel never did. Mm-hmm. Like, it could have been one of those things. And that would have made sense, too. Like, well, I really love you and wish we could date, but I'm afraid to, so I'll just stay being your friend.
Yeah.
It's kind of how I thought it could be.
Could be that way.
This was the first question in this game where I wished I had the rewind power.
For sure.
Because then I would have said more than friends to see what she says.
Yeah.
And then I would have rewound it if it was something bad.
Yeah. I was kind of scared of that too. Of like, man, what if she's just like, what? You're a freak or something, and then that's it. You know, that would suck.
Yeah. So that was kind of my apprehension. I went and looked at what happens, and in this conversation, if we tell her that we want to be more than friends, at the end, where it's like, don't want to be friends or not, like can't or don't want to, Rachel says, Chloe, I'm really sorry. I'm really, really sorry. But I can't, even though I want to.
Okay, yeah.
So you get this, obviously, Rachel feels similar. If Chloe is attracted to Rachel, Rachel is also attracted to Chloe, which was interesting. I had no idea that would be the case. So if I had the rewind, I probably would have.
Yeah, that's fair.
If I had Max's rewind, then I would have said more than friends. But I think I was like, I don't know, will this make it weird or something? Like, we met yesterday or whatever. Like,
yeah.
I'm on. There's another version where I think because I think through the game you basically can be friendly with, or through this episode you can be friendly with Rachel or romantic with Rachel. And one of them is if you're friendly instead of romantic before this, but then you still say something more, then you say, I do like you, and then Rachel's kind of stalling, and then you're like, oh, I'm an idiot. You're Rachel Amber, and I'm Chloe Price. Like, of course not. And then Rachel's like, no, it's not that, but I can't right now, kind of thing. So,
okay.
Yeah, Rachel actually seems pretty receptive to being together if that's what happened. So, or whatever. So, yeah, that's interesting. I didn't think she was that responsive. I didn't know that.
I wouldn't have either.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Chris on Twitter. He's got some feedback. He says he chose that maybe Chloe liked her as more than a friend.
So he did the second option, or the option we didn't do.
Cool.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. If you do that one, Chloe's like really awkward about it.
I bet.
She's like, so I like you. Like, and Rachel's like, what?
Yeah.
Chloe's like as a friend, but more. Like, you're going to make me say this? It's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, very, very Chloe.
Chloe-esque.
Yeah. After this, actually, this next section is really good. After this episode gets kind of rough. Rachel leaves. Chloe has a freak out in the dumpster. The junkyard.
Dumpster.
Junkyard. Baseball bats, like a bunch of different stuff. She's a camera and is like, fuck Max, fuck cameras. She throws a toolbox like, David, you're ruining our home. Like, I mean, it's like pretty rough. So she's just bashing a bunch of different shit, really letting it out. And as a viewer, this was excellent. Like, experiencing this, you really felt Chloe in this, and her pain and stuff like
Absolutely.
that. I thought they did a great job. And she's hitting stuff, and then she sees her dad's car.
That he got hit in and died in.
And he died in.
There's blood on it, too.
Yeah, there's like red on the floorboard.
Yeah.
And she sees it, and she starts hitting it and crying and saying, Dad, why'd you die? Kind of stuff. Then she passes out in the car and sleeps. And then she has a dream about William.
Yeah.
And it's William driving, and they go to pick up Rachel on the side of the road, basically. Which is crazy. And this is, I think, the second dream of William, because we got one in the car with David, too. So there's some crazy William dreams going on in this. So then she ends up meeting up with Rachel. Rachel explains that the person kissing was her dad kissing someone who wasn't her mom.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I see how you were really mad.
Yep.
So now fuck everyone up. and she pulls out this photo she had in her purse of her dad and her from going hiking when she was like 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
And says, I felt like he always cared for me and protected me, but I don't now. Chloe, do you have a lighter? She lights it on fire and throws it in this trash can, and you're like, okay, like,
cool.
Sentimental value kind of changing there. And it sucks. Like, that hurts that you changed that opinion of your dad and see something like that, but that sucks. But then Rachel kicks the kicks the trash can over, and it sets the forest on fire.
Yep.
It's insane. And Rachel starts screaming.
Yeah, they really fucked up.
You get the other side of Rachel, I think. Like, you've seen Rachel be really fun as a friend. Then you see Rachel get pretty, like, upset and more emotional. But then you see, like, crazy Rachel at this point, like, burning down a forest.
Yeah, and, like, just yelling and screaming. I mean, she's clearly really hurt.
Yeah.
Which I feel like I would be, too.
Right.
But, yeah, she's kind of gone nuts.
Yeah, it makes sense that she's hurt. I don't know if it makes sense to burn down a forest. Like, it's very destructive, I guess. And then I think that's where you see it, because Rachel's seen as kind of perfect before this more. And then we kind of see this other version that she can also be pretty wild.
Kind of a lot of internal turmoil.
Yeah, right. Because she expresses, like, issues about everyone thinks you're perfect, and it's hard to do that. So I think she probably feels a lot of pressure in her life. But
yeah,
it burns down a forest. And then the episode kind of ends with a couple cutscenes of different people kind of seeing the fire from around the town.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's big. It's not just the part of the forest they were in. It's like everywhere.
Yep.
Episode ends, and then actually the load screen is the fire. So now, when we get on the game next time, it's a forest fire.
Pretty cool.
Right there, which is cool. I like that as an edit. So yeah, that's, I guess, episode 1. For general thoughts. For me, it's interesting playing as Chloe, in general, because we played as Max in the last game, obviously, and I think Max is more like me, but also, like, I play Max more how I would play naturally, like, kind of more reserved, more trying greater good sort of thing, whereas Chloe's not really that way exactly, like, she's kind of wild and more inconsistent or unstable, like, emotional, things like that. So that's interesting. Something that's different with this Chloe, though, is that Chloe's still angry, like she was in Life is Strange, but not confident.
Yep.
In Life is Strange, like, Chloe's like, fuck the world and I know what I'm doing, kind of thing. In this, she's like, fuck the world, but I'm also sad and alone.
Really sad.
Yeah, so she's like uncertain, she doesn't have friends, whereas like Rachel Life is Strange, or Chloe Life is Strange, like, I have the friends I have, they're great, and fuck everyone else, kind of thing. So it hurts seeing Chloe in this growth stage before she becomes Chloe in Life is Strange, where she's a little more sad and a little more alone, and even more reserved, like,
for sure,
kind of thing. Like, I mean, her power is still like smack talking or whatever, but she's still more reserved. Like, I feel like she would be like a loner in class, maybe similar to Max in some senses. In the first game.
At this point, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
She kind of was.
Yeah, which is interesting to be Chloe in that.
Yeah. One thing I liked about this, well, I guess I like about the whole game, it's nice seeing, like, a lot of background on one of the huge plot lines of the original game. Like, Chloe, like, being friends with Rachel Amber and, sad she's missing and trying to look for her. It gives you a lot of context for why she would want to find her so much.
Oh, yeah.
And why she's, like, obsessed with it. Because, like, even just seeing this episode of them becoming friends, like, okay, I assume they continue to get closer and, like, have a lot of fun together and go through a lot of shit together. But it's cool having some context for that, too.
Yeah. I totally agree. It's really helpful to see Rachel, because we didn't before, but we know that Chloe really cares about her. And even then, in this, with Rachel being destructive and like burning a forest, we also can see how Rachel would like her so much, or how Chloe would like Rachel so much. Like, being on that train and having fun in the park, like, when things are awesome with Rachel, they're really great, and like, really just what Chloe needs for being so sad and removed. Like, what a good person to come in your life at that time.
Absolutely.
So, like in the other game, there's a diary as well. And Chloe's diary instead is signed, like, all of them start with Dear Max. So, and this is pretty rough.
Yeah.
All of them are signed Dear Max, and it's basically Chloe recounting her days and stuff like that. So it's like a regular journal, but they'll just start Dear Max. And it's sad because it's kind of like, oh, man. And then also you see text messages from Chloe to Max that are largely unresponded to.
It's so painful.
And it's just like, God, Max, like, you really fucking blew it. And it just makes you feel really bad for Chloe.
Absolutely. Yeah, I remember at one point we were playing, I think we just sat down and, like, looked through the journal entries and, like, read all the texts. It's like, this, like, makes me want to cry. This sucks. Even just, like, thinking about it now, it's, like, painful. And that kind of combines two of my thoughts is, like, reading that stuff was so brutal. Like, so brutal. But at the same time, I still missed Max a lot.
Yeah.
I kind of just wanted her to come back and be like, okay, Max, just come back and fucking fix this, you know?
Yeah.
Like you're going to do in 2 years. Like, just do it now.
Right.
Which is really hard.
Yeah, it was hard to not have Max. Like, it was also familiar because it's still, you know, Arcadia Bay, it's still Blackwell High, Victoria's, a younger Victoria's there, a younger Nathan, Principal Wells is still there, David, Joy, like, everyone's still there. It's also still familiar, but Max being missing is hard because part of it feels like I'm missing.
Mm-hmm.
For
sure. Yeah.
Because I identified with Max and all of that. And so to be Chloe, it's like, cool, we're back.
Mm-hmm.
But part of it's like, man, I got to get used to being Chloe and process the world how Chloe does. And obviously Chloe's super hurt. So like trying to empathize and be Chloe, it's kind of a hard challenge. I like it. Like playing this the second time, I like it even more than the first time. The first time I enjoyed it, but I definitely like it more right now.
That's cool.
And I mean, good testament to the game doing a good job.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, I guess last, I mentioned it before, but I liked being able to play D&D with Mikey and stuff.
Yeah.
I thought that was fun. They were fun, like, side characters, and it was fun. I don't think I used the side characters or talked to them as much as I should have in the first game. I like doing it in this instance, and it was fun, and just, I don't know, added a lot to it, and it's funny that you could play a video game where in the video game you play a board game.
Yeah, it's really goofy.
Like, it's funny, but I thought it was awesome, and I was really glad they included that.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that sequence too. It's really goofy. I like the dialogue.
Yeah, it's fun.
I guess one last thought I had was like, seeing Chloe's texts and like journal about Max and the text to and from Max, or lack of text from Max, like really reinforced my decision to not sacrifice Chloe.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, just seeing how sad Chloe was and like fucked up she was, and how much Max coming back and them being friends again like mattered. It's like, no, fuck, I could never go back and play the first game and sacrifice her, like, ever. Just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah, after going through all the things we see her going through now, no way.
Yeah, like she was sad and alone for like 2 years, and then he meets Rachel. That's cool, but then she disappears and sad and lonely again.
Right.
It's like, no way. Like.
Yeah, life can't keep fucking you. Like.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Can't do it. And like, I think our last episode of Life is Strange, just the original game, someone sent in about if we let Chloe die in the bathroom, she like would have died alone and scared, like how she felt right now.
Yeah.
It's like, hell no.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
Yeah.
I'd rather sacrifice the bay every time.
Yeah, no way.
Yep.
Totally agree.
Yep.
And like this gives you that more identification with Chloe. Like in Life is Strange main game, like obviously we like and care about Chloe a lot there. And especially as the game goes.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But this just makes it way more personal.
Yeah.
And it's like, nope. Like, no way.
Yeah, I think if I would have played this first, before the original game, I would like never not choose for Chloe. Which we kind of did anyway, but I think
even more
so. Like I would, no matter what the consequences were, I'd probably be like, I don't care. Chloe over everything else.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, so I guess that covers the episode though. So come back next time and we'll do episode 2 of Before the Storm. In the meantime, let us know what you think about this game or other things. Email us at TheGreatestStoryEverPlayed at gmail.com, Facebook on facebook.com/TheGreatestStoryEverPlayed, or on Twitter at StoryEverPod. And we'll talk to you next time about more Life is Strange.
Oh yeah, later.